Welcome, curious minds. Today we're embarking on a custom deep dive. We're heading into a corner of independent watchmaking that really it just defies convention.
It certainly does.
Our mission today: unpack the sculptural poetry and the technical finesse behind a timepiece so unique it almost feels like it's from another dimension.
hmm
We are diving into the audacious world of David Candaux and his latest creation, the DC7 Blue Hawk watch.
A fantastic piece.
Yeah, Candaux is celebrated for taking these unconventional ideas and, shaping them with this masterful fusion of mechanical skill, architectural depth, and just pure visual intrigue.
Absolutely. A true artist engineer.
So we're going to explore exactly how the Blue Hawk embodies this philosophy right down to the smallest, most intricate detail. So maybe for those less familiar with David Candaux's incredible work, where does the Blue Hawk actually fit into his journey? Is it like a totally radical departure, or is it building on something?
That's a great question. What's really fascinating is that the Blue Hawk is the third model in Candaux's collection. And it's definitely an evolution, a brilliant one, I think.
Okay.
It builds directly on the vision he first introduced with the DC7 Genesis. That followed his inaugural DC1 from 2017 and then the DC6 from 2019.
Right.
So if you look at the bigger picture, the Genesis was perhaps a bit more understated in its elegance. And the DC7 Titanium Green, well, that introduced its own distinctive color.
Right.
But the Blue Hawk, it really pushes that envelope further.
How so?
It really dives deeper into the language of asymmetry, the play of light, this multi-level architecture, using even deeper contrasts and more nuanced finishes. But crucially, it keeps the core features that really define the DC7 series.
So it's like watching an artist refine their signature style, maybe becoming bolder.
Exactly. Becoming bolder, more confident in that unique language.
Okay, let's unpack this incredible case then. It's clearly not just, a container for the movement. It feels like a sculpted statement all on its own.
It absolutely is a statement and a real testament to extreme craftsmanship.
You mentioned titanium earlier and hand polishing titanium. That just sounds like a Herculean task.
Yeah.
What really stands out to you about its construction and that finish?
It's a huge task. The DC7 Blue Hawk features a pretty substantial 44mm case made from grade 5 titanium. It's 14mm thick, water-resistant to 50 meters. Standard specs, perhaps.
But the finish.
Ah, the finish.
Yeah.
That's the truly remarkable part. That fully hand-polished surface on titanium, it's an extraordinary challenge.
Why titanium specifically?
Well, titanium is notoriously hard and unforgiving compared to, say, gold or stainless steel.
Right.
So achieving that mirror-like sheen, bringing out those really subtle curves, getting those brilliant reflections, it requires vastly more time, specialized tools, and honestly, an almost brutal level of patience from the artisans.
Wow.
It's kind of like trying to sculpt diamond, not just polish metal.
I can only imagine the watchmaker's patience here. Polishing titanium to this mirror finish must be like, I don't know, trying to sculpt butter with a laser beam. Incredibly precise, one wrong move. Poof.
That's a good analogy. It really is that demanding. We're talking potentially hundreds of hours just for finishing the case components.
Hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
And despite that 44mm size, which sounds quite large on paper, how does it actually feel on the wrist? You mentioned this unique basin-shaped silhouette.
Exactly. It's an immense investment of time. And that leads directly to the ingenious ergonomics. The case has this unique basin shape, you see. It's vertically asymmetric from 6 to 12 o'clock.
Okay.
But it's perfectly laterally balanced. And this isn't just for looks. It achieves an incredibly organic, comfortable wear.
So the asymmetry helps it fit.
Precisely. Despite the 44mm diameter, it really wraps around the wrist in a way that, well, it belies its dimensions. And then you have those curved side lugs, which further enhance that natural, almost custom-feeling fit.
It's a masterclass in how purposeful asymmetry can actually create superior comfort, isn't it?
It really is. Form-following function in a very unexpected way.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me, the magic crown. I mean, for those of us who haven't encountered it, what exactly is this thing? It sounds, well, magical.
It truly feels like a piece of watchmaking wizardry. So at 6 o'clock, you have the patented magic crown. It's this incredibly complex system, 31 components, just for the crown mechanism.
31 parts, just for the crown.
Just for the crown. And when it's inactive, it stays completely flush with the case. It maintains those incredibly clean, uninterrupted lines that Candaux clearly values so highly.
Okay, so it hides away.
Exactly. Then, with just a simple press, it springs out, ready for winding and setting the time.
Wow.
This isn't just a clever gadget. It's a pretty radical reimagining of how a crown interacts with a case.
Yeah.
It's a design purist's dream, you know. but an absolute engineering nightmare to get perfect.
I bet.
And framing the crown, there are these two little black lacquer-filled plaques engraved with David Candaux and Handcrafted. They really reinforce that artisanal identity, the sheer human effort behind it.
It emphasizes that it's not just tech, it's craft.
Precisely.
So, if the case is Candaux's sculpted masterpiece, playing with light in these unconventional forms, how does that same philosophy translate to the very face of the watch? Moving to the dial, it's described as a true work of layered horological architecture. How does that come to life, especially building on the case's dynamic form?
Yeah, Abby explored how the case plays with light and form. It's remarkable how Candaux brings that same kind of multidimensional thinking to the dial itself. It really earns that description, layered horological architecture.
Okay.
It's executed in anodized titanium, like the tourbillon cage accents. The central part holds these skeletonized, hand-polished hour and minute hands, beautifully beveled along their edges.
Ah, the beveling.
Yes, and finished with vivid blue superluminova triangles that perfectly echo the dial's deep anodized blue color.
Nice touch.
Surrounding that central element, there's an engraved minutes track and these recessed baton hour indices. They're accented by a bold triangular index down at 6 o'clock, all sort of anchored within the lower dial structure.
So it's quite different from earlier models then.
Definitely. This design provides a strong contrast. The DC7 Genesis, for example, had these large Arabic numerals.
Right, I remember those.
And the DC7 Green had its very distinctive color scheme. Here, though, the baton indices and that matching blue palette create a much sleeker, more graphic look. Almost minimalist in a way, yet incredibly deep visually.
And how does he achieve that depth?
Well, to really highlight that dimensionality, the dial frame itself appears almost afloat. It looks like it's held in place only by these visible screws.
Ah.
It's not just aesthetic, it's a very deliberate design choice. It reinforces that sense of depth and lightness, making the dial feel like a miniature sort of urban landscape you're looking down into.
That's a great description. And then at 12 o'clock, we've got the aperture for the inclined tourbillon. Now, this isn't just a standard tourbillon, is it?
Not at all.
What does this 30-degree inclination actually mean for the watch's performance and its design? Why go for such a specific, quite extreme angle?
This is really where form meets profound function. So, you have a sloped flange engraved with the seconds track, framing the tourbillon. The small seconds display itself is seamlessly integrated right into the tourbillon cage,
Clever.
with a white lacquered titanium hand tracing a graduated ring. The Blue Hawk is powered by the H70 caliber. That's the same hand-wound movement powering the whole DC7 series.
Okay, consistent there.
Yeah, crafted in titanium. And the whole movement is actually inclined at 3 degrees relative to the case base. It measures 35 millimeters across, 6.2 millimeter thick, 189 components, including that ingenious magic crown system we talked about.
Right, the crown's part of the caliber count.
Exactly. But the absolute highlight, as you said, is that 30-degree inclined fore tourbillon. Its single-axis cage, made from titanium, that blue anodized titanium, completes a full rotation every 60 seconds.
And the inclination. Why 30 degrees?
Well, this extreme angle isn't just for visual drama, though it certainly adds that. It serves a very practical, critical purpose, improving chronometric stability.
How does it do that?
So in a typical wristwatch, gravity affects the balance wheel differently depending on the watch's position, flat, vertical, etc. Candaux's extreme 30-degree angle means the balance is constantly changing its orientation relative to gravity more dramatically as it rotates. This more effectively averages out that gravitational pull across multiple positions.
Ah, so it cancels out the errors better.
Essentially, yes. It offers a subtle but, critical potential leap in chronometric stability over a traditional flat tourbillon. It's a real statement that sometimes the most unconventional solutions are actually the most effective.
Interesting.
And technically, it's driven by 2 fast-rotating coaxial barrels, giving it a robust 72-hour power reserve, and it beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, or 3 hertz.
So if that 30-degree inclination significantly improves stability, why isn't every high-end tourbillon inclined like this? Are there trade-offs? Complexity, cost? Or is it just a design choice others haven't really embraced?
That's an excellent question, and it really speaks to the challenges of, true horlogerie. The primary trade-off is absolutely complexity and therefore cost.
Makes sense.
An inclined tourbillon requires an entirely different movement architecture. You need bespoke parts. Incredibly precise machining, incredibly precise assembly. It's far, far easier and less expensive to create a traditional horizontal tourbillon.
So it's just harder to do.
Much harder. So while the chronometric benefits are potentially there, few watchmakers have the vision or the resources, or maybe just the sheer stubbornness, frankly, to pursue such a technically demanding path. It genuinely sets Candaux apart in that respect.
It's clear Candaux is passionate about the details, but it really sounds like the devil is in those details with this piece. Tell us about the finishing. What are some of those subtle hallmarks, those hot horlogerie signals that might go unnoticed by a casual observer but just scream masterpiece to someone who knows?
Absolutely. The finishing here is pure Haute horlogerie tradition. So almost like a secret language for those who, know what to look for.
Like what?
Well, you see exquisite hand-polished bevels. Those are the mirror-like chamfers on the edges of the bridges. Very time-consuming.
Right, the anglage.
Exactly, anglage. The titanium bridges themselves are straight-grained, which creates this subtle brushed texture that contrasts beautifully with those polished bevels. The tourbillon bridge, in particular, is black polished. That's a technique so demanding. It can take days just for one tiny surface. It yields a finish so perfectly smooth, it appears deep black from certain angles, completely reflection-free.
Days for one bridge.
Potentially, yes. And then there are the inward angles, those incredibly sharp, hand-finished internal corners on the bridges. They are notoriously difficult to achieve perfectly. Machines just can't do them properly.
Needs a human hand.
Needs a very skilled human hand. They really attest to hundreds of hours of artisanal work, proving that level of precision. And finally, you have fine details like ruby jewels set in solid gold shatons.
What are shatons again?
They're those tiny, precisely crafted gold rings that hold the jewels in place. It's a very traditional, high-end finishing technique you don't see everywhere anymore.
Ah.
And there's also an engraved yellow gold medallion bearing Candaux's bear head emblem on the movement. All these things together just underscore the movement's refinement and the meticulous attention paid to literally every single surface. It's true art, especially under a loupe.
It sounds incredible. So how does all this technical mastery, this intense artisanal effort, actually translate to the wrist? We talked about the unique ergonomics of the case, but what's the overall experience like?
Well, despite its visual complexity in that 44mm size, the DC7 Blue Hawk is, as we discussed, surprisingly balanced and comfortable.
And the scrap helps there too, I imagine.
Definitely. It's worn on a supple, handmade rubber strap, which contributes hugely to its wearability. And you have options too. It's available with a Velcro closure, a folding clasp, or a traditional pin buckle, all engraved with the David Candaux logo.
Right.
So when you combine that strap with those ingeniously curved lugs and the lightweight, hand-polished titanium case, it really does feel almost like a custom fit. Much better than you'd expect from the dimensions.
And for those completely captivated by what we've discussed, what about availability? This doesn't sound like something you just pick up anywhere.
No, absolutely not. It's an exceptionally rare piece. It's offered in just 8 individually numbered pieces for the Blue Hawk.
Only 8. Wow.
Yes, the exclusivity absolutely matches the craftsmanship involved. Each one is priced at CHF $149,000, that's before taxes. And notably, it's backed by an exceptional 10-year guarantee.
10 years? That's significant.
It really is. It's a huge testament to Candaux's confidence in his work and a major commitment to the collectors who invest in his vision.
It speaks volumes.
It does. And if we sort of connect this all back to the bigger picture, the DC7 Blue Hawk truly invites collectors deep into David Candaux's singular vision.
A vision where?
It's a vision where paradox becomes beauty, where asymmetry becomes harmony, and where every surface, every angle, every single component has its own story to tell. Not just of function, but of really profound artistic and engineering intent.
We've certainly taken a deep dive into the David Candaux DC7 Blue Hawk today, uncovering its blend of, well, really innovative design, incredibly complex engineering, and just meticulous hand finishing. From those extreme challenges of hand polishing titanium to the ingenious, almost invisible magic crown and that functionally beautiful 30-degree inclined tourbillon. We've seen how every detail really contributes to a unique horological experience. It genuinely redefines what's possible, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. This watch really exemplifies how a creator can find harmony in asymmetry and real beauty in paradox. It's a powerful statement, I think, that true innovation often lies in deliberately challenging established norms.
That's a great point.
And it raises an important question maybe for you listeners to think about. In a world that so often seeks perfect symmetry and conventional solutions, where else in design or engineering might we be overlooking potential breakthroughs? Overlooking elegant and functional solutions simply because we're not looking through the right, perhaps unconventional lens. It's definitely something to consider as you encounter design in your own life, whether it's a watch, a building, a car, or even a piece of software you use every day. Where else might asymmetry hold the key?